Number 3, public comment reminder. I just wish to remind everyone when we do get to the public comment later in the meeting to keep your comments to issues and specifically things about the medical marijuana world, not necessarily about applications. I appreciate that. Number 4, approval of the agenda. Is there anything the members wish to add, change, subtract?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the agenda.
Is there support? Support. Moved and supported to approve the agenda. Any other discussion? Kelly, want to call roll?
Chairman Rick Johnson,
Yes.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Number 5, old business. We have a tabled application from the last meeting. It's number 1, herbal healing of River Rouge. Is there a motion to take that off the table?
Motion to take it off the table. Second.
Moved and supported to bring herbal healing of River Rouge off of the tabled position and in front of the board. Any other discussion? Okay, you want to call roll, please?
David LaMontagne,
Is this for the motion to table?
Untable.
on
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we have in front of us then herbal healing of River Rouge. Is there any discussion, thoughts, motions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, this is a holdover from our last meeting. We voted on this actually, and it was a 2-2 non-decision on, I can't remember if it was approval or disapproval or denying. In any event, we decided to table it till we got a full board here, which we have today. The issues that caused concern here was an undisclosed arrest where there was an assault in 2001 that was not disclosed. This is a situation where it actually occurred right in front of the police as they intervened on another matter. And I also noted on the department's facility enforcement section report that as late as August 29th, they were still selling products that were in violation of the MFLA regarding candy, packaging, advertising, cartoons. And again, those rules have been out since December of last year.
Okay, any wishes from any member? No motions?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we deny Herbal Healings of River Rouge, LLC.
Is there support? I'll support to get the discussion going here.
We're going to want the specifics in the motion, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
While he's doing that, Chris, can you speak to the non-disclosed? Not disclosed, I guess I call it. Sorry, I didn't want to get you off guard.
That was an assault and battery is what was listed on there. The individual gave information that was uploaded for the board as to their reasoning why that wasn't just initially disclosed. I don't have that in front of me right now, but it was disclosed in the board report. The reference was made for that as to what his reasoning was.
Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? Motion is to deny.
Mr. Chairman, I believe the Attorney General wants us to put this section in
Oh, I'm sorry.
at this point.
Yep.
And that would be section 4022C. The applicant knowingly submitted a license application containing false information. And I would add 4023A, the personal and business probity to operate and maintain a marijuana facility under the act.
Okay. Any further discussion?
And if you could just articulate a little bit of information with respect to the personal and business probity, that would be useful.
Regarding the selling of products that don't comply with MFLA, the law and the rules, which have been out since last December.
Okay.
Is that question, is that fully documented in the report?
Right. So what we had were some packaging issues that were documented during the inspection of August 29th of 2018. They were corrected on September 5th, 2018, when we had the reinspection, which is why they got the past inspection report. Also, those packaging inspection items are extremely common. They happen at almost every inspection that we have. We give them an opportunity to identify and tell them about the issues, and then we give them an opportunity to correct those and mitigate those, and then we pass their inspection.
When we give them the opportunity to correct, I know that it's been suggested that the enforcement section is seizing these things.
No, we have yet to seize anything. We are not law enforcement. We are regulatory. What we do is advise and correct on site. If we find any of these issues, then the actual applicants themselves, in this case, would then take those products and get them off the shelves and get them out of the store. Any kind of seizures would have to be done by law enforcement.
All right. So the notion that you're seizing things and taking them off the shelves is not accurate.
No, it's not accurate.
And you're relying upon the applicant or the licensee, the business to do what they do with it, and we really don't know what they do with it.
Oftentimes they package it up and ship it back right in front of us, but sometimes no, as long as it's off the shelves when we come back for reinspection if it's not taken care of there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Okay, go ahead and call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Question.
Go ahead.
So he made a motion to deny
To deny.
and you support it?
I support it.
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
No.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 4 yeses, 1 no. Motion passes.
Okay, under new business. Under A, it's in your packet, there's a list for 2019 board meetings availability. If you would look at that, we don't need obviously an answer right now, but if you could, I think there's a couple of dates for each month. If you could choose one of them, would be great. And then we can maybe approve something at the next meeting on the 8th. Any questions on that?
I believe a new date list is going to be sent out. correctly.
Yes, I'll email you all. And you can just email me back your availability.
Are you looking to have this by the November meeting? Is that what you'd like?
That would be nice.
Okay.
Right, you know,
Very good.
so we're not going to take any action on this, just want to make sure everybody has that to look at and be able to hopefully make some appointments on the dates and let everybody know when we're going to be meeting through 2019. Okay, any other questions on that? If not, go to B, pre-qualification applications. Number 1 is Quality Roots. Wishes of the board.
Mr. Chair,
Go on.
Mr. Chairman, I move that Quality Roots Incorporated has pre-qualification status for a pending application.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, we will call the roll on quality routes for pre-qualification.
David Lamontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Okay, number 2. Frankfurt Green LLC for pre-qualification. Any thoughts of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move that Frankfurt Green has pre-qualification status for a pending application.
Is there support? I'm sorry, Nicole. It's been moved and supported to pre-qualify Frankfurt Green. Is there any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, in reviewing this application, there were a couple of things that jumped out to me they're concerning regarding some regulatory issues with the applicant's other business, where he ran afoul of some licensing issues. And when confronted with the issue, to have an employee rectify the matter, the document showed that, he made the statement that to do what you have to do to get it fixed, no matter what. And particularly this industry with the amount of regulations that's involved, the vastness across the state, and the number of people we have between law enforcement and the department to address the matters. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity to do exactly this, is to do something wrong and make it look right no matter what. I have a real problem with this.
Any other discussion? Go ahead and call roll.
David Lamontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
No.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 4 yeses, 1 no. Motion passes.
Okay, number 3, Freddy's LLC for pre-qualification. Wishes of the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion. They have a pre-qualification status for pending application.
Is there support?
Support.
Moved and supported to give Frankfurt Green, that's right, sorry, Freddy's LLC pre-qualification. Any discussion from the board? If not, we'll call the roll.
David Lamontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Okay, number 4, GR Vending for pre-qualification.
Mr. Chairman, I move that GR Venden has pre-qualification status for a pending application. Second.
Moved and supported to pre-qualify GR Vending LLC. Is there discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the roll.
David Lamontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Number 5, Morency Brothers Holding Group for pre-qualification. Is there a motion? Did I say that right, Morency?
Yes, sir.
That was one where you have,
Yes, on further review, I indicated to each of you this morning that, slide on me, that there had been an error made on the board report on there. There are no criminal non-disclosures. That was corrected this morning, and I called your attention to it this morning before the meeting.
Any other questions? Motion is to No, we don't have a motion. No, you're right. Anyone wish to make a motion?
just a minute.
Catching up?
I want to look at one thing.
Oops, that's what she told us about. Any motions? Okay, the chair will move to pre-qualified Morency Brothers Holding Group.
Support.
Moved and supported to pre-qualify the Morency Brothers Holding Group. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll call the roll.
David Lamontagne,
Abstain.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 4 yeses, 1 abstain. Motion passes.
Okay, number 6, Northern Michigan Grow LLC. Wishes of the board.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to deny Northern Michigan Grow LLC pre-qualification status for a license under section 4023A, personal and business probity to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. 4023A, again, financial ability and experience to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. Same section, responsibility or means to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. 4023E, the applicant has filed or had filed against it a proceeding for bankruptcy within the past 7 years. Section 4023F, the applicant has been served with a complaint or other notice filed with any public body regarding payment of any tax required under federal, state, or local law and has been delinquent for 1 or more years. In support of that, there's an implausible business arrangement to support the capitalization of the marijuana facility, and there's a pattern and or history of failure to satisfy business and tax obligations when due.
Support.
Okay, it's moved and supported to deny Northern Michigan Grow. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
David Lamontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Okay, number 7, Jacob Oderny for pre-qualification.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to grant the application for,
Is there support?
Second.
It's been moved and supported to grant Jacob, maybe it's Oderny, I'm not real sure how you say that.
Otney?
Otney, a pre-qualification status. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
David Lamontagne,
yes.
Vivian Picard,
No.
Nicole Cover, Donald Bailey,
No.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
No.
Chairman Johnson, you have 2 yeses, 3 nos. Motion fails.
Okay, we need a motion to deny at this point or further discussion or? There were some disclosure issues.
The non-disclosure plus the claim.
Right. Some of it was disclosed, but some of it was not.
Yeah, I don't believe there were any non-disclosures, but there was a criminal history disclosed. Correct.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we discuss this, and then maybe we can get a motion on the table.
Is there support for that?
Support.
Motion is to discuss applicant number 7. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Passes 5-0.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought it was. Um,
4023A is
On this application, there was for the sole applicant, there was an arrest in 2004 for marijuana. There was a drug team for a cultivation arrest in 2015. And this is something that's very common under our medical marijuana law of 2008, that caregivers would routinely violate the 2008 requirements in how they went about growing and taking care of their plants for their patients. And this was a drug team up north that conducted this investigation. In addition to that, there was a bankruptcy that was just discharged from, I think, under business and personal probity, that this applicant hasn't met the standard.
Okay, anyone else? Hearing none? Someone wish to make a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
go on down.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to deny
Support.
Jacob Otney.
been-
Support.
Moved and supported to deny applicant number 7, Jacob Otney. Any more discussion?
And we're, again, just going to want that motion to cite the specific statutory provisions that were discussed.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, specifically would be section 4023A, personal and business probity to operate and maintain a marijuana facility.
That it?
Is that bankruptcy just outside the window?
I don't know.
Would she also apply for
Actually, it was outside the window 4 days ago.
It was.
and she as well?
In G.
On here.
402 or 403?
4023A.
4023AG, the applicant has a history of noncompliance with regulatory requirements in Michigan and or another jurisdiction. And to support that, it was the activity under the 2008 Medical Marijuana Act that caused the issues in 2015.
Okay, it's been moved and supported to deny Jacob Otney pre-qualification. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Okay, next is applicant number 8, Pegasus Green LLC.
Pegasus?
Pegasus.
Mr. Chairman, I move that Pegasus Green has pre-qualification status for a pending application.
Moved and supported to pre-qualify Pegasus Green. Hearing any more discussion? None? Call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes,
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
thank you. Number 9, I like this one the best. The applicant is The Happiest Camper.
I move that the happiest camper has pre-qualification status for a pending application.
Support.
Which one?
The happiest camper.
No,
Nicole or
Nicole.
Nicole?
It's been moved and supported to pre-qualify the happiest camper. Any other discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Number 10, Northern Specialty Provisioning Limited Partnership for pre-qualification. Wishes of the board.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we discuss this before we have a motion on approval or denial.
Second.
It's been moved and supported to discuss applicant number 10, Northern Specialty Provisioning Limited Partners. All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Open for discussion.
Mr. Chairman, this application was taken over by the current applicants in late 2013, early 2014. And part of the reason it was taken over is because the other owner was rated by the DEA or ATF. I'm not sure if it was together or separately. It was a marijuana and a gun charge for this specific dispensary that was operating illegally. In fact, that resulted in a conviction, and I believe that original owner is still incarcerated for that charge. And at the time of that, they were working, the applicant, RM, was working with the person who ended up going to federal prison in furtherance of this dispensary that was not legal. In addition to that, when you're looking at the taxes, it doesn't seem to add up between what the facility brought in and what was claimed on tax returns. I think there's a big hole that hasn't been addressed.
Any other comments? Any motions?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion. I just turned it over. I apologize. I make a motion that Northern Specialty Provisioning Limited partnership be denied an application on 402 4023A, personal and business probity to operate or maintain a marijuana facility.
Anything else? Motion is to deny. Please call the roll.
We need a second.
Oh, we didn't get a second? Oh, I'm sorry. We need a second. I thought Nicole did, but.
No, we were just discussing.
No.
Okay.
No, I was just making the motion. So now it needs a second.
No second? Motion fails for lack of a second. Anything else? Board wishes.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to grant Northern Specialty pre-qualification status for pending application.
Is there support?
And I'll second, and then I just have clarification.
Go ahead.
So if there was a bad apple that then vacates and it becomes a new application, my assumption is if the bad apple comes back, they're in violation of something.
Well, I think the way it was stated, well,
We'd
I
have to
think,
come back here.
Yeah, they would have to come back to us, right?
yeah, I think the way that it was stated was that the application changed. There, of course, there was no application back in when that
Right.
first issue happened. The only applicants that we have are these applicants. If someone was going to come in lawfully, they would have to come before this board. They'd have to file the supplemental application and all the documentation. And it would come back before you for review. And also, based on enforcement, if enforcement found any
Well,
concerns,
person involved or-
correct.
All right, any other discussion? Please call the roll to grant pre-qualification to Northern Specialty Provisioning Limited Partnerships.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
No.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 4 yeses, 1 no. Motion passes.
Okay, number 11, Green Wave Naturals LLC for pre-qualification.
Mr. Chairman, I move to deny and based on 4023A, personal and business property to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. 4023A, financial ability and experience to operate and maintain a marijuana facility. 4023A, responsibility or means to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. 4023C, the sources and total amount of the applicant's capitalization to operate and maintain the proposed marijuana facility. And the sources of capital provided do not establish a reliable means for the operation of facility under the Act.
Okay. It's been moved and supported to deny. Is there any more discussion?
We need a second.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did.
Do it together, will you?
Pardon me?
Do it together, will you?
I'm off here today. I can't seem to get caught up.
That's okay.
Okay, the motion is to deny Green Wave Naturals LLC. Hearing no more discussion, I'll go ahead and call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Okay, now we're under C, State Operating License Applications and Related Pre-Qualifications for number 1 applicant, JC3 LLC. Wishes of the board.
Mr. Chairman, I move that
JC3.
JC3, I move to deny JC3's application because the applicant is not qualified for a license under the Medical Marijuana Facilities Licensing Act. Section 4023A, personal business probity to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. Financial ability and experience to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. 4023F, the applicant has been served with a complaint or other notice filed with any public body regarding payment of any tax required under federal, state, or local law and has been delinquent for 1 or more years. And as evidence of that, the applicant failed to provide adequate records to demonstrate an ability to operate a marijuana business in a compliant manner. The applicant failed to provide provide adequate records to support financial account transactions to the department. And there's a pattern or history of failure to satisfy business and or tax obligations when due.
Is there support?
Support.
Moved and supported to deny JC3 LLC a prequal and a license. Any more discussion? Go ahead and call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes,
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
thank you. Number 2, Montreux LLC for a prequal and a license. Any wishes? Number 2
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
is to approve.
Approve, yes, sir.
Okay, motion is to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and supported to grant Montreux LLC a prequal and a license. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the roll, please.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
No.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
No.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes,
Chairman Johnson, you have 3 yeses, 2 nos. Motion passes.
number 3, Humblebee Products LLC, prequal and a license. Wait a minute. We did already do the pre-qualifications back in July on Humblebee, so it's just for the license.
Make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there support?
Second.
Moved and supported to approve applicant Humblebee Products for a license to operate. Any more discussion? Please call roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
No.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 4 yeses, 1 no. Motion passes.
Okay, next is number 4, 2540 RP LLC. This is just for a license, I believe. Yep, just for a license.
Make the motion, Mr. Chairman, to grant.
There's support. Support, Nicole? Moved and supported to approve applicant 2540 RP for a license. Any more discussion?
Just to be clear, this entity was pre-qualified in May.
Yeah, we said that. Go ahead and call roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Number 5, D Salvage LLC for a, this was granted, yep, for a license only. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'm trying to dominate the score sheet here instead of keep the clock going. you know.
Second.
Moved and supported to approve D Salvage LLC for a license under the medical marijuana law. Any more discussion? Hearing none, call roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
No.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 4 yeses, 1 no. Motion passes.
Okay, number 6, the Barn LLC for a license. Has this been pre-qualified? I don't see it on here.
No.
but-
No.
Okay, so it needs a pre-qualification and a license.
Move to grant pre-qualifications and license to the barn.
Is there support?
Second.
Moved and supported to grant the barn a pre-qual and a license. No more discussion, call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, I do have some discussion on this one.
Mhm.
Regarding applicant JL, again, he was the subject of a drug team out of the Flint area search warrant, in which he pled guilty. That was 2006. Probation ended in 2009. And that had to do with cultivation and delivery of marijuana that was outside the 2008 law. There was also a checking into the sales tax. If when looking at that, for the sales tax since temporary operation began, for the first quarter of 2018, there was $100 in sales tax remitted for gross sales of more than $75,000, which is not anywhere near the 6% sales tax that everyone else has been required to pay. And in the second quarter, the same template was followed. More than $80,000 in gross sales and only $135 in sales tax was paid. This is one of the problems that we're going to have, particularly with cash businesses, is making sure that people are doing the right thing on their own without oversight from law enforcement, from LARA, from Treasury. And I think this is evidence that that is going to be a real problem here.
Can you repeat the first part of the criminal piece again, please?
Regarding applicant JL, there's two on this. There's two applicants on this entity. The Flint Area Narcotics Group executed a search warrant in 2006, resulted in a guilty plea, and that probation was terminated in 2009.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, the motion is to approve the barn for a pre-qual and a license. Go ahead.
Well,
Pardon me?
while we have discussion, so is that a question for the department? Are we concerned with the tax issue? Is that not something we need to be, what is our role in that?
They indicated that they were still operating as caregivers until last month, and they've been paying sales tax now.
So basically, they've been operating with the quasi protection of Rule 19, but at the same time operating as caregivers outside of the MFLA, trying to play both sides to an economic advantage, which they've done. It's not legal under the 2008 law, and it doesn't comply or comport with the emergency rules under the 2016 that the rules that the department issued, specifically Rule 19, that they were taking advantage of. They wanted to have it both ways, and they did. They did it both ways, except neither one was done correctly. And I think without constant supervision, this is the type of applicant that we're going to have issues with going forward. And so I have real concern with this application.
Chris, our tracking from seed to sale should track that though, is that correct?
That's correct.
Any more discussion? Call the roll, please, to grant the barn a pre-qual and a license.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
No.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 4 yeses, 1 no. Motion passes.
Okay, question to the Attorney General's office. The next, I believe it's 7 through 11. At least 7 through 10 are all the same KTC Industries. Can we do one motion for those?
Well, one's a provisioning center, and then there's 3 that are grower class Cs, so maybe the grower class Cs can be done together.
That's how you want to do it?
Is it just through 10 or 11?
7, 8, 9, 10.
7, 8, 9, 10.
You can group them together as long as the motion for each of them is identical, either granting or denying, and if denying, based on the same identical reasons.
Move to grant 7 through
10.
10. 7 through 10.
Is there support?
Second.
It's been moved and supported to grant an application to KTC Industries, applicant 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Support.
Discussion. Hearing none, let's call the roll, please.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes,
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
thank you. Now we're to number 11. And it is to pre-qual and grant a license to Canalicious Inc. If I'm pronouncing it right.
Yes, and that's the same ownership of KTC.
Okay. Wishes? Any board wishes?
Move to grant.
Second.
Moved and supported to grant a pre-qual and a license to applicant number 11, Canalicious.
Canalicious.
Can be delicious.
Close enough.
Is there any more discussion? Please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes,
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
thank you. Okay. Next is number 12, CLDD LLC for a pre-qual and a license.
I think
They're pre-qualified already.
They were
They are
previously.
oh, yes, I see right there. Yep. I'm sorry.
I move
just
to
for-
grant CLDD LLC the application for a license.
Is there support?
Support.
There is support. Is there discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for Ms. Jordan. Regarding the notarized forms, did we get that issue taken
Yes.
care of? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Please call the roll to grant CLDD LLC a license.
David LaMontagne,
Yep.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes,
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
okay, next is number 13, District 3 LLC.
I move that the District 3 does not have pre-qualification status, nor should they get a license. Based on section 4023A, the personal and business probity to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. And then also section 4023F as in Frank, the applicant has been served with a complaint or other notice filed with any public body regarding payment of any tax required under federal, state, or local law that has been delinquent for 1 or more years, as evidenced by the applicant failed to provide adequate records to demonstrate an ability to operate a marijuana business in a compliant manner. And there's a pattern of or history of failure to satisfy business and or tax obligations when due.
Is there support for that?
Mr. Chairman, I would support the motion. I would just point out that 13, 14, and 15 are the same operation, basically.
Yeah, I forgot about.
Maybe on
Different
denial,
names.
we should
I can lump them.
address
all in
them, address them
Yeah,
separately.
that's fine.
It's,
I support her motion then.
That's moved and
Rock on.
supported. Go ahead and discuss it. Any more discussion? Please
The
call the,
denials are the same
Yep.
too.
go ahead and please call the roll to deny District 3 LLC a pre-qual license.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover, Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Number 14, District 7 LLC for a pre-qual and a license.
I move to not grant pre-qualification or a license to District 7 LLC. I can repeat what I just said, section 402. Maintain a marijuana facility, as well as section 4023F. The applicant has been served with complaint or other notice filed with any public body regarding payment of any tax required under federal, state, or local law that has been delinquent for 1 or more years, failed to provide adequate records to demonstrate an ability to operate the marijuana business in a compliant manner, as well as there is a pattern of history of failure to satisfy business and or tax obligations when due.
It's been moved and supported to deny District 7 a pre-qual and a license. Any more discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Okay, next, number 15, 3967 Euclid for a pre-qual and a license.
I make a motion also to deny here for pre-qualification as well as application. Again, section 4023A, personal and business probity to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. I am going to add here section 4023C, the sources and total amount of the applicant's capitalization to operate and maintain the proposed marijuana facility, as well as section 4023F. The applicant has been served with a complaint or other notice filed with any public body regarding payment of any tax required under federal, state, or local law that has been delinquent for 1 or more years, as evidenced by the applicant failed to provide adequate records to demonstrate an ability to operate a marijuana business in a compliant manner. And there's a pattern of history of failure to satisfy business and or tax obligations when due.
Okay,
Support.
been moved and supported to deny, I'm sorry, 3967 Euclid. I couldn't remember the numbers. Call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Number 16, Urba Care for a pre-qualification and a license.
I move to deny Urbacare pre-qualification as well as a license under section 4023A, financial ability and experience to operate or maintain a marijuana facility, as well as section 4023A, that same area, responsibility or means to operate or maintain. And then under section 4023F, the applicant has been served with a complaint or other notice filed with any public body regarding payment of any tax required under federal, state, or local law that has been delinquent for 1 or more years. And that's evidenced by the applicant failed to provide adequate records to demonstrate an ability to operate a marijuana business in a compliant manner. The sources of capital provided do not establish a reliable means for the operation of a facility under the Act.
Support.
Moved and supported to deny Urba Care LLC a pre-qual and a license. Any more discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Number 17, the House of Mary Jane for a pre-qual and a license. Wishes of the board.
I make a motion to grant, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
Motion is to approve. Number 17, the House of Mary Jane LLC for a pre-qualification and a license. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, regarding this application and the applicant, House of Mary Jane. Again, looking at the internet advertising for this medical marijuana facility, advertising a happy hour every day from 1 to 2 and from 4:20 to 5:20. This flies in the face of anything that's medical. If this is hydrocodone or Vicodin or any other number of a controlled substance, we would all be correctly upset at somebody advertising it that way. A happy hour for abuse of any medical substance is not something that we should be encouraging these folks when they're getting into the business to market it.
Question, was that disclosed in the report?
It was in one of the links in the,
I remember.
I think it was one of the Raymond report for the entity.
Can we clarify that in the report, please?
Yes, in the Raymond,
Exactly what was said in the report.
in the Raymond report, there was a link to an advertisement. And it refers to a happy hour. I don't think there's anything to determine that there's being any consumption on premises. I mean, if you're correlating with an alcohol happy hour, then you could go there, but I don't believe we have any evidence that would show on the premises.
I think my point is that the abuse of this as medicine is what's being promoted here, and that's clearly a problem when we're dealing with any drug that we have that's out there. That's why we have the problem we have with opioids. It's the abuse of the opioids. It's not the opioid. It's a legitimate drug, legitimate purpose. But when you abuse it, that becomes the problem. And here we have someone who's advocating the abuse of what is supposed to be medical marijuana.
And I guess my question is, did the report indicate that there was abuse during the happy hour? Was that indicated in the report?
No, I mean, it's just, all it is a link to their site that shows this advertisement. We don't have any.
Right.
I mean, I think under the rules, people will be limited as to how much they can get.
Am I have as medicine? That's why it stood out to me.
Okay, any other discussion? The motion is to approve the House of Mary Jane, a pre Hearing no more discussion, would you please call the roll?
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Kober,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
No.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
No.
Chairman Johnson, you have 3 yeses, 2 noes. Motion passes.
Number 18, Great Lakes 101 LLC.
Chairman, I move to deny based on section 402(3)(a), financial liability and experience to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. Section 402(3)(a), responsibility or means to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. 402(3)(c), the sources and total amount of the applicant's capitalization to operate and maintain the proposed marijuana facility. 402(3)(f), the applicant has been served with a complaint or other notice filed with any public body regarding payment of any tax required under law that has been delinquent for 1 or more years. The sources of capital provided do not establish a reliable means for the operation of a facility under the Act, and there's a pattern of history of failure to satisfy business and or tax obligations when due.
Is there support?
Support.
It's moved and supported to deny Great Lakes 101 pre-qualification and a license. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Kober,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Next is number 19, Green Genie LLC for a pre-qual and a license. Wishes.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to move to deny.
Support.
It's moved and denied. Do you want to state?
Sure. Section 402(3A), personal and business probity. 402(3A), financial ability and experience. 402(3F), applicant's been served with a complaint or other notice filed with any public body requiring payment of any tax required under federal law, state, or local law, and has been delinquent for one or more years, as evidenced by the records provided by the applicant, demonstrated inability to operate a marijuana business in a compliant manner. There's a pattern or history of failure to timely file tax returns and or satisfy tax obligations when due.
Okay, it's been moved and supported to deny Green Genie LLC for a pre-qual and a license. Any more discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Okay, number 20, Green Care Provisioning LLC for a pre-qualification and a license. Wishes. Any?
Motion to deny both the pre-qualification and the license for Green Care Provisioning LLC. Under Section 402(3A), personal and business probity to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. Section 402(3A), the financial ability and experience to operate or maintain a marijuana facility. Section also under 402(3A), the responsibility or means to operate or maintain the marijuana facility. 402(3C), the sources and total amount of the capitalization to operate and maintain the proposed marijuana facility. And then under section 402(3F as in Frank, implausible business arrangements to support the capitalization. The records provided by the applicant demonstrate an inability to operate a marijuana business in a compliant manner. And there is a pattern of or history of failure to timely file tax returns and or satisfy tax obligations when due.
Is there support for that?
Support.
Moved and supported. To deny Green Care Provisioning LLC a pre-qualification and a license. And or license. Any more discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Number 21, the House of Zen Care Center for a pre-qualification and a license.
I make a motion to deny pre-qualification as well as a license for a provisioning center for the House of Zen Care under section 402(3A), personal and business probity to operate or maintain a marijuana facility, as well as the financial ability and experience to operate or maintain a marijuana facility, also under 3A. And then under 402(3F), the applicant failed to provide adequate records to demonstrate an ability to operate a business in a compliant manner.
Support.
Moved and supported to deny the House of Zen Care Center LLC for a pre-qualification and license.
Just to clarify, I believe you cited 4023F. Which is the applicant was served with a complaint or notice regarding payment of any tax required. Was that intentional or was that,
Nope, it was not.
okay,
It was 4023A, two of them, sorry.
thank you.
I was just giving you details for those. That's my fault.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Kober,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Number 22, GS Ashley LLC for a pre-qualification and a license. Wishes.
Motion to grant. Both.
Second.
Moved and supported to grant a pre-qualification and a license to GS Ashley LLC. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, on this application, one of the applicants, EM, was in California in the Humboldt County area. And that's that area of California in 2005. He was arrested. That's the Emerald Triangle for marijuana. Really, it's looked to across the country as being the birthplace of this whole movement over the past 30 years or maybe even 40 years. He was arrested in 2005 for cultivation and distribution. He also was arrested for receiving and concealing stolen property. It was a stolen handgun during that arrest in 2005. It looks to me like we've moved operations from California, where they've had so many problems with this exact issue, to Michigan. And I think this is going to be a problem for law enforcement, for licensing with an application like this moving forward.
Any more discussion? The motion is to approve GS Ashley LLC for a pre-qualification and a license. Hearing no more discussion, please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Kober,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
No.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
No.
Chairman Johnson, you have 3 yeses, 2 nos. Motion passes.
23. For a pre-qualification and a license. Wishes. Go ahead.
Mr.
Sorry.
Chairman, I make a motion to deny based on section 4023A, personal and business probability, section 4023A, financial ability and experience to operate or maintain a marijuana facility, 4023F, the applicant has been served with a complaint or other notice filed with any public body regarding payment of any tax required under federal, state, or local law that has been delinquent for 1 or more years. There is a pattern of history of failure to satisfy business and or tax obligations when due. The records provided by the applicant demonstrate an inability to operate a marijuana facility in a compliant manner.
There's support.
Support.
Moved and supported to deny Green Bean Company, Inc. of a pre-qualification and a license. Any more discussion? Hearing none, please call roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Kober,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson. Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 24, Green Bean East Inc. for a pre-qualification only.
Mr. Chairman, I move to deny Green Bean East under section 4023A.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to deny Green Bean Company East a pre-qualification. Open for discussion.
And did you want to cite the specific
Certainly.
provision, please?
4023A, personal business probity. And financial ability and experience. And 4023F, the applicant's been served with a complaint or other notice. As evidenced by a pattern or history of failure to satisfy business and or tax obligations when due. Records provided by the applicant demonstrate an inability to operate a marijuana business in a compliant manner.
Any more discussion? Please call the roll.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,
Yes.
Chairman Rick Johnson.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson, you have 5 yeses. Motion passes.
Number 25, Green Acres Wellness Center for a pre-qualification and a license. Wishes? Any?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion of the pre-qualification status.
Is there support? I'll support.
And this is an application for both pre-qualification and a state operating license.
Right.
All right.
The motion is to grant both.
Right.
Yes.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, the only discussion I have on this regarding staffing and patient education was part of the plans that were submitted. It doesn't look like it's medical in nature. Instructions in that staffing plans are to suggest an upsell, put the product in the customer's hand. It's psychologically harder for them to say no. And after the purchase, make sure to assure the customer they've made a good choice. I can't see that happening in a pharmacy. We're trying to upsell, and this is medical marijuana we're talking about. This is not anything else. And I have a hard time reconciling that. Statements such as that, it's right in their business plan, moving forward in a purely medical marijuana environment.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll to grant Green Acres Wellness Center LLC a pre-qualification and a license.
David LaMontagne,
Yes.
Vivian Picard,
Yes.
Nicole Cover,
Yes.
Donald Bailey,